Hi Shelley. You seem ready to review the writing process. Can you tell me the first step?
Sure. It is pre-writing, but it includes a variety of possible approaches.
What do you mean?
Well, students could brainstorm, create a word bank, or use webbing. They might also activate prior knowledge by a discussion or by asking each other questions about the topic.
Nice explanation. What is the second step?
Drafting is the second step. Although, some people call it just writing the first draft.
What does drafting include?
The most important thing is probably the idea that students should know the purpose and the genre before they begin to write.
The purpose and the genre? Isn't that confusing?
Not really. They need to know if they are writing a report, a poem, a narrative, a description, or even a summary. Those are all genres. The purpose would depend on the assignment.
Can you clarify the purpose?
Sure, the purpose answers the why question. For example, is the student writing for a test, to practice a genre, or to communicate with a peer? It can be almost anything.
Good job. What about the third step?
In our system, the third step is response and revision.
Isn't that two things?
Not really. Response means the writer has a draft and someone provides feedback. Revision means the writer then considers the feedback as they make improvements.
Feedback? Doesn't that mean a lot of work for the teacher?
It might, but it also means that the students could work in pairs or small groups. It might also mean that a parent or a friend could read the paper and give suggestions.
That sounds fairly informal.
Yes, but depending on the purpose, the age of the students, their previous skill level, or the specific writing skill being introduced, it can mean many things. For example, the teacher might just want students to read each other's papers to see if the writing makes sense. The teacher also might have created a rubric. This is where the teacher has to think in advance and carefully plan what students will be doing during this stage.
Good, but that still sounds like response. What about revision?
Well, as you know, some people separate these into two steps. The important thing is to think about these as two closely related parts of writing. It is where the teacher makes it clear that writing is a process. One where writers listen to feedback and carefully consider what they need to change in it to make the product meet the rubric and its purpose.
Shelley, that is a good summary and a nice reminder that the teacher still has a lot to do. They must understand the steps and build their own capacity to provide students with direction and help along the way. What other steps are there?
The fourth step is often the hardest. The writer must move the product from revision to the final stage. In our school system, we call it the final product. That title is almost too simple. In reality, writers must write, rewrite, consider the advice and rewrite again. In fact, for some students it is important to return to step through several times while they prepare the final product. They might seek responses from others or depend on their own experience and judgment as writers.
Yes, it is important to remember that writing is a process. One that requires work. Writing is a skill, and with most skills, if writers practice, they get better as they write more frequently.
I agree. As my students work on a writing assignment, they get better and better. I also find that some need more help at different points in the process. Some need help getting started and some need help expanding their ideas. Others have great ideas but need the suggestions and advice of others to improve.
Yes, writing is a process. As students learn the steps and the various tools that might be used at each stage, they can often do much of the work on their own.
That is especially true when the assignment is clear. If I take the time to carefully explain the purpose and the audience, they get to work faster. It also helps during revision if I have a clear rubric to help them improve each other's work.
Our system has a 5-step process and you have only covered 4. What is left?
Our 5th step is called presentation or evaluation.
Couldn't we just use one or the other?
Not really. Remember how we said assignments need a purpose and an audience?
Yes, good point.
If the purpose is to write about an important memory to share with the class, I may not want to correct much grammar. I would want the memory to be understood. So, they would respond and revise so that the memory is clear to the reader. Then the final product would be shared with others. They might have a reader's circle, a pair share, or I might even post them on the wall.
Yes, that is clear. But don't we want students to write correctly?
Certainly, I find it helpful to not evaluate too much with every assignment. But if I am teaching my students about adjectives, I might have a requirement that they use 10 adjectives in the paper and that they underline them. This would be in the rubric, and during the revision stage they would help each other. During the pre-writing stage we might put together a class word bank on the whiteboard.
Once again you have provided a nice explanation. I certainly hope that all of our teachers can discuss the 5 parts of the writing process. Now we need to build teacher capacity to understand tools that they can use to help student writers during all 5 stages.
Yes, I know that pre-writing is my strength and I can share with others. Claire is very good at getting her students to create drafts.
And Penny is very good at the response and revision stage. Jill attended the National Writing Project Summer Workshop and she has wonderful ideas about helping students with final products.
Mary has a wide range of presentation strategies, and through her experience in the classroom she has developed evaluation skills that will be helpful to all of us.